Okay, now on this video I want to show you guys the slide rule. This is the slide rule. It is a slide rule because, see, you can pull it this way. You see some numbers. There, the numbers are sliding the other side. You see some letters here. These are the scales A, B, C, D, K. Yeah, and that is the slide rule. It was invented in England around 1620 or 1622 and was the calculator for mathematicians, teachers, engineers, chemists, what else? Astronomers, everybody that deal with numbers, deal with this rule, the slide rule. See how can we slide this to indicate numbers? We can put this here on the 20. We can put it any place that we want. The same, we have to slide this. You can do with this, you can do additions, subtractions, multiplications, divisions, square root, powers. You can work with pi, everything. It was a calculator. It was based on logarithms. This was a very, very useful tool for engineers. So I show you this slide rule that I have it in my property since 1978 or 1979, something like that. See the box where I keep it is the box where I keep it is pretty old box. See, worn out. I tape it here because it was worn out. This is the box where I keep it. Then I put it here like that. See? Put it there. Anyway, I keep it because it is a precious tool for me. It has been. Well, this slide rule was very useful. It was very useful, not anymore. Since 1972, there appeared a HP 35 scientific calculator. Then the slide rule became obsolete. No longer, because the calculator was so fast, more accurate, etc., more handy, and then was no longer useful. But there, in those times, during the 16th to 1900s, where this was very, very useful tool for math. As I said before, it was used for chemists, engineers, mathematicians, teachers, astronomers, well, variety of people that deal with numbers. Okay, now that I have told this, I will show you something else. But the purpose to show you this instrument is not to show you how to work with this, because this requires lots of skill and is very, very hard to teach it, even to learn it, and less, well, is way more difficult to show how to use this tool. The time will be when I have, probably I can teach you guys how to use this tool, but in another video. No, this video, this is not the purpose. I just wanted to show you this instrument that I have. And I will show you something else. For example, I have in mind to show you the flight computer. The computer the pilot use is a very handy calculator or computer. They call it computer. But now at the school of pilots they use it, they learn it, and the test based on that it is very serious test, even though the pilots don't have to use that rule anymore or that calculator anymore because they used satellite and computers. So but in the schools, at the pilot schools, they used it, and they don't pass if they do about less than 80% answers, right answers. They don't pass the test, they don't pass it. So they use it, they learn it by heart. But as I said, they don't use it in the practice. At the plane they don't use it. They use computers and what else, and the satellite. Anyway, I'll try to show you the other thing. Well, we have another computer or another calculator here. This what they call flight computer. This is really a computer for calculated distance, fuel, speed, and we have some other scales that we calculate wind here. We have the scale for wind. So there are numbers here. We calculate the speed of wind. But here we have to see this face of this calculator. As I said before, we have, no, I haven't said yet. We have the inside scale, the middle scale, and the outside scale. We could see here 3 scales. The inside scale, you can see numbers 7, 8, 9, etc. This is hours. See, hours. In the middle scale, we have minutes. 45, 50, 55 minutes, 60, 70, etc. In the outside scale, we have miles or fuel. Miles or fuel, okay? So the miles is distance. So we have distance outside, okay? So now that we know the 3 scales, show you something here. We can move this. This disc is movable, see? Anywhere. Why? Because it needs to move in order to do the calculations. Okay. For example, we need to know the speed of my plane. For example, I am in the plane and I put the speed. I put the speed on the plane that it says, say here, 90 miles per hour or knots. On the plane is knots or miles, nautical miles. 1 knot is equals to 1 nautical mile, okay? So say that we program the plane and we want to go 90 knots per hour. So we see this index, we move it to the 90. See here, 90. Now that we have it 90, see? 90. This is not kilometers, this is miles per hour or knots per hour. This means that it is 90 miles per hour, okay? Or 90 knots per hour, whatever, but no kilometers. No kilometers, okay? Now that we have it here and we travel for 1 hour 30 minutes. So we calculate the distance. See, if we go to physics class, we're gonna see that speed is equals to distance over time. So we don't need to do it in paper because we had already this and we don't need to go to the paper. So we see the numbers here. We are going 90 miles per hour or 90 knots per hour. So we flight for, we put it properly here. Okay, yeah. We go for 1 hour, 30 minutes. Okay, 90 minutes. So we go here, in the inside scale. Here we have 1 hour, 30 minutes or 90 minutes. Remember that the middle scale are minutes, here hours, okay? We fly for 1 hour, 30 minutes or 90 minutes, and we see, and we want to notice the distance. Okay, we go like this. 1 hour, 30 minutes, we go, and when we arrive to outside scale, we see we see 11, 12, 13, 14, but we know how to read it. We have to learn how to read it. It says here 110, 120, 130, 140, so on. Okay, then we go to see here this index, and we go like this, and we're gonna find that since this is 130, we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So how many miles we have traveled? 135 miles in an hour 30 minutes. Let's say that we don't go 90 miles per hour, but we go to 95 miles per hour. So we go like this, say 91, 92, 93, 94, 95. We go 95 miles per hour, okay? And we travel for 143 minutes. Okay? We have to go inside 120, 130, 140. So we count three more. 145 here, 150. So 145. So 103 must be here. And we go outside and we find that we travel 162 miles because it's 16. We have to read it 160. So 160, 1, 2, 3. Okay, or 2, because 3 is around here. So we go this way and we say 162 miles. That is the distance we have traveled with this speed, 95 miles. In the same way, you can program, here is 100 miles per hour. Here is 103, 104, 105, and so on. Depends, doesn't matter. This is a computer. That's the beautiful thing, that this is very handy. 110 miles per hour. You don't say 11 miles per hour. No, you say 110 miles per hour. Here is 111 miles per hour. And then we have to see if we want to know the distance, so we have to take in count the time. Okay, the time. Anyway, okay, now we have another example. Here, suppose that we want to travel 95 knots per hour or 95 miles per hour. It's the same. But we are talking about, don't forget, we are talking about nautical miles, not station miles, because not the same measurement. Okay, we are going at the speed of 95 miles per hour. We put the index on the 95. Here is 90, here is 100. So we count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 95 miles per hour. And we travel for 2 hours and 10 minutes. For that, we have to check the inside scale. The inside scale. Let's try to find it. Okay. 2 hours. Here we have 1 hour and 10, 20, 1 hour and a half, 1 hour and 40, 50, 2 hours. We have 2 hours here, but we said 2 hours and 10 minutes. Okay. Go. You see 2 hours and we don't see any numbers. These numbers are inside numbers for another scale, density and altitude. We don't count here. So we count this and this, but we don't see the 2 hours, 10 minutes, 2 hours, 20. We don't see it, but we have to calculate it. Okay, if it is, here is 2 hours and here is 2 hours and a half or 2 hours 30. We calculate here, that is, here is about 2 hours and 10. Here is about 2 hours and 20. Okay? Since this, we say that 2 hours and 10 is the time that we spend traveling or flying. From here, we go outside like this, and we find this little sign here. Okay, you're gonna say that is 2. No, it's not 2. First of all, we have to know that this 20 must be 200 miles. We had to learn how to calculate this because you see 19 could be 190, could be 1.9, could be 1900, could be 19,000, one example. Depends, okay? So in this case, we have, this is 200 and this is 210, 220, 230, etc. Okay? So we said that we arrived to here. So if we count from here, from the 20 to the 21, we see 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is 5. So these things must be 2 each. So 202, 204, 206, 208, and 21. Okay, 210, I mean. Okay, so since we arrived here, we had to say that the distance we have been flying is 204 miles, not 202. 202 is here, 204. See, very minute things that we have to pay attention to, and we have to practice lots in order to find the skillful necessary to understand this. Okay, so we have been traveling for say 204 miles. Now there is another example, but this time we're gonna find out the time. Yeah, the time. So say that we are flying at the speed of 190 miles per hour or knots per hour. So we move this like this and find 190. This is 120. Remember that we have to add a 0 here. This could be 1.2, could be 12, could be 120, could be 1,200, etc. Okay, we have 120, 134, etc. And we find here 190 miles per hour. Okay, we put the index here. Okay. This index, we put it here, and we say 190 miles per hour. And we travel for 95 miles. That is the distance we travel, 95 miles. Okay, now we find 95 in the outside scale, okay? Here find 90, but it say 95, okay? 95 is here. And here is the minutes, the inside. Remember what I said before? The inside is minutes. So how long do we stay in order to travel 95 miles to this speed? 190 miles per hour, we stay 30 minutes. See, very easily to find these kind of things. If you like this video, okay, give me a like. On this time, we're gonna calculate fuel. For example, one plane could spend 7 gallons per hour, 8 gallons per hour, 12, 15, 20. So the pilot has to know how many gallons the plane spent per hour in order to calculate calculate the distance, the time, in order to have enough fuel for the flight, okay? So say that the plane spent about 5 gallons, almost the plane spent more, not 5 gallons. Even small planes spent lots, not 5 gallons. Anyway, we have to find here that say that a plane spent 5 gallons per hour. We have to find 5, that it is here. Let's put the index, this index on the 5. We look. Here we go. As I said before, here we see 50. But remember I told you that could be 5, could be 0.5, could be 50, could be 500, 5,000 or whatever. So depends on the skill of the pilot. Okay, we have here the index that says is pointing 5 gallons per hour. Remember that the outside scale is miles or fuel. So here the index is telling me that the plane spend 5 gallons per hour. So if the pilot has a plan to travel about 40 minutes, okay? Let's try 40 minutes. Say, see, we see 40 minutes. We see 45, no. Okay, now we have another example, but in this time we have to calculate fuel. Say that our plane spent 11.5 gallons per hour. Okay, we have to put the index on the 11.5. Where do we have the 11? Here. So and a half must be around here. So we go and put the index here. 11.5 gallons. Remember that the outside is miles or gallons or fuel. Okay, so we work with gallons. So we see that the computer here, the sign says that we have our plane spending 11.5 gallons per hour. So, and we travel for an hour, 50 minutes. An hour, 50 minutes. So we have to go inside to find an hour and 10, 20, 30, 40, an hour 50. See, we find it here. An hour 50 minutes. From here we have to the outside, to go to the outside in order to find the amount of gallons, amount of fuel, okay? An hour 50, and we go, and here we find that we spend 21 gallons. See, 21 gallons. Here, since there is no zeros adding to here, wouldn't be any zero add here. This 11 and a half flat, 21 gallons flat, okay? So this is very, very easy to find out. Say that we don't spend, and the plane doesn't spend 11 and a half. Say that spend 13 and a half. Okay? 13 and a half, and we fly for 1 hour and 45 minutes. So we have to go inside to find the 1 hour 45, and we find here 1 hour 40. 1 hour 45 is here because 1 hour 50 is here. So an hour 45 is here. And we go from here to the outside, and we find here, we count, is 2, 4, 6, 8. So we go here, we spend 23.6 gallons. See? 23.6 gallons is what we have to spend, okay? Okay, now we have another example, but this time we're gonna find the time. Say that the plane that we have spent about 13 and a half gallons per hour. As I said before, the pilot has to know how many gallons the plane spent per hour in order to do the other calculations. Okay, now we'll find out that we have, in our tank, we have 70 gallons. Okay, 70 gallons of gasoline. So how many hours or how long we have to fly with that amount of fuel if the plane spend 13 and a half gallons per hour? So we go here and we find 70 because we have 70 in the tank, 70 gallons of gasoline. So we go outside, 70. We don't find it here. Sorry, I don't think you saw what I was here. Well, we go here and we find 70 here. 70. Okay? Yeah. We have 70 here. And from here we go to the inside. Remember that the other exercises we went from the inside outside. This time is from the outside inside, okay? 70 gallons. This is the amount of fuel we have in our tank. We go to the inside and we find here we have 5 hours. Here we have 10. Here 5, 20, 5.5 hours. 40, 50, and 6 hours. Okay, but we come here and we can say 5 hours, 10 minutes, or 12 minutes because it's coming right here, okay? So we travel 5 hours, 12 minutes with 70 gallons in our tank when the plane travels spends 13 gallons and a half, 13 and a half gallons. That's what the time of travel, okay? I hope you enjoy this. I wanted to show you something else. I have this calculator. This is a graphic calculator, but we won't graph now. Should be in another video when I go and it is to work with this calculator. So my purpose has been to show some kind of calculators that have been on use. Now this is very handy. This is in use still. this is difficult to be obsolete because it's very handy, accurate, etc. So it's no better than this. And this is for, as I said before, graphic calculator. We could graph here, but I said no today. We're gonna do it in another day. For that, we're gonna play with these buttons, etc. These buttons, but not today. I think it is. I show you this. I share this kind of knowledge with this computer, and I show you guys the slide rule. I told you about the history of the slide rule. I think it is enough for today. So we're gonna see each other or say hello each other in another video.